Well, it's Milk Monday. Usually that means we get to make ice cream, but I think we're doing really well on our ice cream supply. So last night we had abusive wind. Sometime around like 10 p.m. we heard a really loud kind of a slam sound. And both of us looked at each other like, what was that? Sounded like a car crash or something. If our plastic would survive. There's some of the tape. Wood chips stick to this tape very good, unlike sticking to plastic sheeting. You can see down here, there's a chunk of tape all wrapped around that post, but the good news is, looks like our scab boards are still in place. It looks like there's a piece of tape in this tree. Looks like we've been trying to very poorly decorate for Christmas. Looks like this tape's super sticky. Just won't stick to plastic. It looks like we've got a leak right here. This is all looking pretty good. There's some moisture coming in off the plates up here on the back wall, which sucks. More water here on the back side. Looks to me like a lot of this is coming in around this post. Look at this drip. Blast, blast. I think that's actually a new drip. Looks like our plastic the garage and keep it dry strategy is failing already. That took less than 24 hours. See some tape. Oh, there's just tape everywhere. See tape hanging off the edge over here. Tape down in there. What a joke. All but one side of the perimeter tape came off. I don't even know how that happens. How does tape get completely wrapped around a post? Good news is Bob is still intact. Our main seams on the length and the width here seem to be holding. Definitely water going underneath all this tape. I did notice last night though that in this plywooded area we were going to tape around the seams of the plywood to kind of create an air seal, so when the wind comes in the garage it doesn't inflate the plastic. We didn't do that. It was a miscommunication, and I came out last night and did notice when some of the gusts were hitting the garage, the plastic wasn't ballooning, but it definitely was inflating a little bit. So I think we need to do something inside the garage to help prevent this plastic from just getting shotgunned off.
in a perfect world, our foundation would be plumb. Our ICF concrete pour went very well, and things came out good, all things considered. In the end, the openings for the garage doors weren't perfect. The bucks we installed were slightly out of plumb. Normally, you would just fix this by framing the walls a little differently, but since we're using a manufactured product to close in our house, the sill plates really do need to be as close to plumb as possible so that we get a tight seal so our home is energy efficient. So now we're fixing the out of plumb concrete by creating a pressure treated wedge to close the gap. Of course, the sawmill made this task fairly simple. Filling the area with foam would have worked too. In this situation, we decided to use wood.
Oh, maybe I finally killed the cannon by drowning it in water. Doesn't want to turn on. That turns on, but live view doesn't work. Gloves are covered in sawdust and water. Oh, mic's completely soaked. Can get a photo. Well, maybe this is gonna go inside, hopefully, and dry out. So much for being waterproof. Cool, fun.
This was one of those days where giving up would have been easy. There's no one really to stop you from throwing in the towel when you're building your own home. Weather seemingly is always against us. If it's not the blistering heat of summer, it's inch upon inch upon inch of rain. You lie awake at night hearing the wind howl and wonder what damage is being done to your vulnerable home, the one you've spent hundreds, even thousands of hours building. It's been a couple of weeks since the workshop, but our energy really hasn't returned yet. I've been working mostly alone, making a little headway each day. Alyssa has spent every waking minute editing video, so we see very little of each other, and we don't get to work together much. It's not the work that's hard. It's not any harder than any other day, really. It's the mental battle. Wanting to protect what is yours, but feeling like you're naked, vulnerable, and really inadequate some days. You're unsure if you've got what it takes to finish. It's really a fight. Sometimes the only way to keep going is to drill one more hole or cut one more board. or try to check one more thing off of the to-do list. This really isn't how we pictured home building. Days without problems or setbacks are few. As they say though, without darkness, you really can't appreciate light. We're pressing on. For some of us, winning isn't really the priority. We'll be happy if we just see the finish line.